Uh, when you have Sky, such a strange lineup. Undying plus Skyrat Mage is such a strange support duo. I
Yeah.
mean, both of them need a lot of EXP. You want your Undying to hit 6 at a very good time, or at the least 5 in the laning phase at a very good time. Skyrat as well, except Sky will need a little bit more farm. I think you want the Rod of Atos or the Glimmer Cape, and the same thing goes here for Among Us. We've talked about you love to talk about the Sky. Once you have that Glimmer Cape middle of the game, the Skyrat's damage isn't amazing. Now, MG.Trust also pick up this PA, which is again rather strange. I do like Undying PA. I think if you get like 2-3 decay stacks, you get a nice crit in the PA, you're gonna be dancing all day. But Among Us, because of this, they've got the Venge, they get the Terrorblade, they've got the Aura play, the range damage, and the armor now in the Terrorblade to kind of withstand that Phantom Assassin's right click. You do have some good magic damage here from MG.Trust. Sky's damage comes to mind, but again, you're probably going to be seeing a fast Glimmer Cape here from March's Venge, if that's what they're going to be running, which it looks like. Once you have that Glimmer Cape, I think that solves all the issues here for that Terrorblade.
Shout out to the guy in chat, by the way, who did wish us a good afternoon. To the handsome casters, thank you very much. So you're handsome too, Mister Idiot Plays Dota. Apparently, it's
That's
I mean,
everyone.
I guess we're all idiots that play Dota. He's not wrong. So thank you to you, sir. Hopefully you're having a great day yourself. I do like that Terrorblade pickup. I mean, you already talked about it. Into the PA gets picked up. You go the TB. You have a very high armor. Later on, you can go for the MKP pickup on the TB if you really want to. And of course, with the Vengeful Spirit, as you've already said, it is very strong, right? Even the reflection up against the PA can be quite painful for her. So I do like this pickup quite a lot. Mind you, you are picking the TB into the Skywrath. So they do have the answer in terms of magic damage in that Skywrath Mage, but in terms of that Skywrath, like if we're talking about a big 5v5 team fight, what I would do if I was Among Us is I'd either get the Tiny or the Legion Commander to just go ahead and kill the Skywrath in an instant with Avalanche Toss or with just a duel setup from the LC, and then you're missing that magic damage altogether. Which I believe Among Us will be looking out for every single team fight for the sake of making sure In Your Dream is able to stay alive and isn't worried about those high sources of magic output. So I do think even with the Skywrath being there up against the Terrorblade, it seems though Among Us are quite comfortable getting that Skywrath out of position and locking her in with an Avalanche Toss or a Jewel and just taking her out.
Yeah, and you've already got the LC, right? We were talking about the value of the Purge. Now, if
Right.
they're looking for Ancient Seal plays, you already preemptively have that LC on Among Us' side.
That's a very good
So the
point.
value just builds itself. It's quite the forward thinking for March. The prophet of drafting there, figuring it out. He knew they'd need it,
I think the
and they
word
just
you're looking
they
for
got it.
there is Oracle, John. The Oracle of drafting.
Oh, that's even better. Oh yeah, yeah. He definitely is. Too bad he can't play that Oracle here, but it's there now. Abed Hero left, and it looks like we're looking for our Fearless Hero mid as well for MG.Trust. Neither side really, kind of locking in what they want to do mid. So there's a lot of room here.
I think that puck ban from Motivate was actually really nice. Because the puck would have been perfect for this draft. Just locking everyone in against the PA especially, just not allowing it to blink strike all over the fight. And of course, In Your Dream could have just teared them to shreds with that Dream Coil set up from Abed. What else do you want though? Like, you don't have the mag either. You are looking for some kind of control here from this mid laner. Okay, they'll go the Leshrac, so maybe not so much control, but it is going to be a lot of high damage output. It deals with the PA very nicely, as you know very well, John. And in terms of push potential now, you have Terrorblade, Leshrac, LC, all of which push extremely well.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous what Among Us has done here in terms of taking objectives. MG.Trust, they don't have that. Like Skyrat Mage right click, Undying right click doesn't help. Tidehunter PA, maybe once you have the Deso. And they do take the Fearless Storm, but they bring that up against Abed's Lesh. It should be a fairly decent game for it, to be fair here. I don't expect that many issues. Like, it's going to take a while until you see a Blink in the LC to get Blink Duel off. Venge takes quite a fair few levels to kind of throw that Storm Spirit off guard, and Zephyr's going to need a Blink as well for the Avalanche toss. So early on, I expect Fearless to just zip in and out, no problems here. Matchup against Abed is a bit more back and forth. We have seen Leshrax kind of pull that lane off, but Storm Spirit's still Storm Spirit. You have the Remnants to play with, you've got Overload. It can be really annoying. It's a really different draft here coming out from MG.Trust and Among Us. Very wild variation what we've seen in the past few days, and I'm just curious to see what MG.Trust does. They've got some strange issues in laning as well, right? Like they don't have any stuns for the most part. So if Among Us understands this, they could just easily kind of TP out, and we've seen that be really valuable in a couple of games already.
And that's the point I was just about to bring up, John. Like, the whole draft of Motivate, they only have Ravage for stuns. You've got Vortex there from Fearless, but that's really it. You've got Vortex Ravage. Sure, you have Ancient Seal on Skyrath, which can be quite useful as well, but when you're talking about cancelling TPs off this game, you don't want to Ravage just to cancel TPs, especially on supports. Fearless, of course, can Vortex to cancel those TPs, but that's it. If he's not there or Masaros is not there, Among Us are just TPing out of every team fight that doesn't go well. So I am very concerned for Motivate.Trust this game. One, if the crowd was asking us what draft we favored, I'd have to say Among Us by a long shot.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
definitely. I mean,
stuns win games. It's as simple as that.
yeah, it's just it enables you to find those kills. They've got this early burst damage from Among Us. I mean, there's some good sustain here from MG.Trust, right? As a game, no, not as a game, but as a fight drags on, Undying becomes that much more useful. The spells you're spamming out as the sky as well starts to add up, but it's an issue of control, and we'll just have to see how they do counteract that here on the side of MG.Trust. Now, you know, MG.Trust, they will at least have these comfort picks out, right? The Masaros Tide is something that they've fallen back to so many times, and Masaros tends to deliver. It's just that he has a lot of pressure here to really figure out when to throw those Ravages out, and Fearless as well. I think this has to be a Storm Ags game, hands down.
Yeah.
Maybe a third item pickup, or second or third, probably third item pickup, but you need the Ags, you need that AoE Vortex because of that lack of control here.
No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, you're going to need the BKB for sure. There's no doubting that. Like, that will probably have to be a quick rush on Fearless this game, because there is a lot of control through that Leshrac, Tiny, and Bench. The Jewel is still going to go through the BKB, which is going to be problematic for Fearless, so he might think about a Lincoln Sphere. But I would agree that Ags is probably going to be very valuable for Fearless this game. It is going to give you a kind of a follow-up as well to that Ravage, which is probably going to be very worthwhile. And what's even more important, John, is this laning phase has to go extremely well. And in all fairness to Motivate, while we have commented on the fact that neither of the supports have stuns, they do tend to dominate lanes, right? The Undying, that's all it's all about, right? Just destroying the lane, ensuring your core has a good time. The Skyrath does the exact same thing. You just win the lane. If they can do that, they might be able to snowball out of control and control the pace of the game. But if they lose that pace and tempo to Among Us, I think the game's over.
Yeah, so much importance in that laning. Honestly, the dual lane of say PA plus Sky it sounds pretty scary at level 1 to 2. Like
Sure.
the slow from the dagger, concussive shot we've seen leveled up first is a lot. You can start to run down. I think you might be looking at an early trialing just to find first blood. Perhaps that is one way to get started. It looks like that might be the game plan as Boombell is also working his way down with Q and Masuro. So at least early on, trying to get that presence out to at least find that first blood. We have seen some teams kind of opt for that. No, Boombell's actually just going to walk top. All right, just standard dual lanes, and I mean you can still try for first blood, but I think a Tide. Oh, yes. Still rubbing it in Fearless. Come on, March.
Kappa. March. March
You
trash
should
talking.
just do the smiley. Just do the smiley.
March.
They'll know.
March just turned into a real trash. I tell you, John, he's a very cheeky man. In fact, there's the disconnect now.
Oh.
March, what have you done?
March!
March has upset the whole side of Motivate.Trust. They've all left the game. Oh, March.
Oh, March, you bully.
March, what have you done?
Such a
How dare
bully.
you?
Hell, dude.
I will take the responsibility in 5-minute Kappa.
Kappa.
Kappa! March doesn't want to give anyone pause time.
Oh, Zex has
Cuckoo's always the nice guy that gives the pause time away, and March is like always the guy that's annoyed that they're giving pause time away.
I'll take that.
Yep, that's how it is. That's why March, that's why, I want to say, in that picture I posted, Sunby did reply, why is he giving the finger? I think Sunby, this is why. This is March.
It's March, Sunby. Don't take it personally. March just he's a bad boy, this bloke.
He is. He's been very bad recently. Very bad, but we'll see what he can do here in the Venge. MG.Trust slowly reconnecting and disconnecting. It's a bit more patience here. At least Masaros is back. He can't leave his tide alone. He says, we've got to play this game. I've got my tide. I have my set. This is my
He
moment.
too, doesn't he? You guys may not like it, but this is what peak Tidehunter looks like. Look at that. Starfish on his belly.
God.
Mouth just trembling underneath. It is Halloween after all. He's very scared right now. Understandably. It is a very spooky time of the year. That is peak performance for a Tidehunter, ladies and gentlemen. So we will get back into the game now. Yeah, everyone's in good spirits this game already. Good to see.
Oh, definitely. The chat wheel spams back thanks to Diretide. Lon and Duno sounding off.
I miss
love
those
it.
guys.
Yeah, it's been a while actually. So this is a bit off topic, but I have seen Lon casting Mobile Legends.
No,
which was an interesting take.
No,
it was an interesting switch. I was like, really? It's like, all right.
Don't tell people that, John. Zephyr, he's copying a lot of damage up top lane, John. He's trying to make a run from Jackie. Looks like he's going to be fine. Cuckoo will run as well. And I'm going to tell you the one good thing about the LC in this laning phase, even though it is a strength hero up against an Undying, is he's going to get so much more value out of the press the attack and the moment of courage with the heals, because he's going to have a lower HP pool. So if he does go for the max press the attack build, which I think he will this game in this laning phase, I don't necessarily see them being able to kill Cuckoo. That Cuckoo? Cuckoo!
He doesn't care. What? He legitimately didn't care. He ran up to him, and he just didn't care. All right, there it is. Overwhelming odds first, but yeah, I mean,
Well,
we talk about that with Undying.
He's going to get one value point for the range creep, of course. But after that, I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it. Like, if the Undying doesn't find kills with this decay spams, you are just giving an opportunity for them to heal back up. Like, a Tango becomes so much more valuable in that downtime. And surprisingly, Boombell has gone for brown boots and just one Tango. Now, he's got his courier coming in. That should have a couple of mangoes. But this is one thing the Undying has to get done. First, full mana pool has to amount to something here. And Boombell's trying his best to zone out, but it's just a bit of a struggle. You can see Zephyr's already gotten his pull off. He's going to find his EXP in the Tiny, so they've got to find a way to equal it out, and I think Cuckoo's going to be perfectly fine farming this awkward spot here.
No, I mean, PSA for people that weren't aware, but if you're having a very tough lane, like an Undying matchup, and you're playing position 4, pull the lane like this. Because what it does is it splits up the duo of PA Undying. That means Boombell can't go for the value decay onto 2 heroes at once, and he can't even go on Zephyr because there's a full creep wave there that might turn on him and attack him. And not only that, but it's going to ruin the equilibrium even more for the PA. It's a very smart play from Zephyr to pull the wave like that, get his level 2 so he can actually start roaming around, and it also ruins Boombell's laning phase now. Very, very smart.
Going to be something they're going to have to equalize now. Because they're so tied up, the mid lane should be a bit free, and we are seeing Fearless up against Abed, the Storm up against the Leshrac. A rather even lane, as we mentioned from draft. You are seeing both of them find the same amount of farm. Abed is out of mana though, but he does have the stick charges to kind of play with, and Zephyr's in.
Good rotation out. Fearless, he is susceptible to dying like this, and a great toss back. Abed, however, is out of mana. Oh, very unfortunate. Had they had a Lightning Storm available, Fearless would have just died. In fact, they're going to try and throw one out now. Fearless is going to go down Abed. He does get it eventually. First blood to go the way of Among Us. And Abed, he's going to really enjoy that start on the Lesh rack.
It's what you'd love to get as Lush. You know, you get off to this early start, you get first blood. It's right around the 3-minute mark too, so it's going to make it just a little bit more awkward for that Storm being slightly behind in EXP to contest those runes, and we're going to have to see that commitment from MG.Trust to win down mid. So I'm looking at Q if he can come out, and you know that bot lane here for Q and Masaros on that Sky and the Tide, up against March on his Venge and the TB being played by IYD. Such a standard lane here for Among Us. It's a Venge TB. When you have Metamorphosis, you can't get zoned out. Masaros is finding some good farm, but that is a Tide Hunter. You can dip into the camps, get a pull off, just clear out these waves a lot safer. Q's doing a fantastic job though in zoning out March, so our Venge isn't really able to harass too much, although...
Saros, gotta be careful. The meta does come out, and it looks like he is gonna orb quite nicely in your dream. But Masaros is going to hide in the tree line, and now concussive shot coming out. Q is trying to turn back around and make sure In Your Dream can't fight this, but he does anyway. March able to take the kill on the Venge, and meanwhile mid lane, Fearless getting taken out by Abed and Zephyr once again, and Abed, he got the double damage rune anyway. This mid lane is turning into a real whitewash for Abed, just based off the rotations of Zephyr.
And that's the big difference here for MG.Trust. They need Q to be the one coming in here on the Sky, not the Undying. Like, there's not much Boombell can do on a level 2 Undying in this lane. Level 1 Decay, level 1 Soul Rip. You can maybe heal up your Storm, but level 1 Soul Rip's just not amazing as a burst heal, and you're never going to win out the rotations. Tiny just has a lot more impact in that mid lane, and that's just going to be a constant issue for MG.Trust if they can't get this guy to walk around a map.
And that goes all back to Zephyr's pool earlier on to get that level 2. It's really screwed around Boombell as well, because he has to keep following where this Tiny's going. Cuckoo's having not a free matchup by any stretch of the imagination, but he's at least able to get his levels up. He will take the bounty away from Boombell, and mid lane, Fearless once again caught out by Zephyr on the Tiny. Fearless still at level 4, Abed almost at level 6. Zephyr is just doing such a great job this game one, John. There's no other way to put it.
He's just making it work. He's on his Tiny. He's going down mid every time. Q's now here, but it's a bit too late.
Q's dead. Q is just dead. Zephyr just sticks around, gives another kill away to Abed. Zephyr's literally spoon-feeding Abed at this point.
Oh yeah, and they're even dragging down Cuckoo for a bottle refill here. So Abed's just really getting the lane he wants, and Boombell comes in, but what? Stunned
March. Oh, March. What are you doing? Oh, Zephyr will come in. Zephyr will clean up. Zephyr's like, look, I'll take care of it, March. You just take a seat. They'll go on to Masaros now with the Avalanche toss, and Abed getting another kill off the back of these supports from Among Us. And this is really just great play. Among Us understanding how powerful they are right now. March, stop tanking the tier 1 tower. Abed will come in with the Diabolic Edict. And with the Siege Creep, they are going to get a 6-minute tier 1 mid tower. And remember what I said about this laning stage for Motivate.Trust, John? They needed to win these lanes. And I would dare say the only lane they have won is the top lane, where Jackie is still farming very nicely on the PA. And he has rotated down bot, but he's got to try and react to the pressure now being applied, because Among Us, they're not going to slow down. They're going to keep going like this. Boombell now underneath the Pulse Nova of Abed. Abed is running low on mana, but it will not matter. He gets his 5th kill of the game on the Lash, and they are making this game look so easy.
That they are. They've got 7 minutes in. Every single kill is going Among Us' way. They haven't dropped a hero yet. They're finding levels. You're at the point where Zephyr is at 4 in the Tiny. Masaros just hits 5. So your Pause Force keeping up with his Pause 3 from MG.Trust side. You mentioned a PA. It is going to be a Battle Fury rush for Jackie. So even if he is free farming, it's free farm to build into a farming item, to wait for the Desolator, wait for a BKB, and
yeah, I don't know
it just stalls out.
It's too slow. Do you think he's actually going to have the time to farm? Like, he's already lost his tier 1 mid tower. The top tier 1's about to go down to March in a creep wave. You're going to get the Battle Fury, but where are you going to farm if all your towers are gone? There's Abed again. He kills off Q. But where is Jackie going to farm if all his towers go down before the 20-minute mark?
It's going to be a tight space for him. Like, I can see the triangle being where he plays. It's just not very efficient. Maybe they play on this bot jungle where there's absolutely no vision from Among Us if they take this tier 1. But you're talking about your PA farming and your Storm. Like, Fearless just hit 6. Masaros still has to hit 6. So your other cores are getting equally kind of scuffed here as well. And it's not like a Storm can play from behind, Mike. You need that fast build up to the Kaya. You need that Bloodstone. Or, in this case, I'm not sure if Fearless will just go for a Eul's and just try to play around with that.
Who taught you that word?
I just picked it up. I don't know. Maybe cast that. Maybe that first cast they did with Tekor kind of caught it from him.
It sounds like
Mr.
something
Tekor
LY would have said, not Tekor. I'm not sure if Tekor says it.
I don't know. I have no clue. I just pick up things. You know, I'm like a kid. I see something, I kind of do it. If no one tells me it's bad, and I do it. That's why you have all those memes, Mike.
And if
No one's telling me to stop.
True. Bad. Oh, he wants to go after Fearless again. Fearless is at least 6 now, but they might be able to perma-stun him up.
Oh, you gotta love the regen rune on Leshrac, dude. Turn on Pulse Nova for so long, and you're just such a happy camper farming up here.
Zephyr is getting in position. If they can get the toss-off into Cuckoo, he can hold him down with the Jewel, and that'll guarantee the kill on Fearless. But Fearless seems to understand something is wrong. He knows that Abed is in his jungle farming up all these creeps right now. Abed going to be well and truly on his way to that Yule Scepter he's looking for. Meanwhile, top lane, Cuckoo is starting to break the gap here with Fearless. Looking to try and get him to feel comfortable. Now goes for the Jewel. Abed is in with the Split Earth. The Jewel, is it going to be long enough? It is. And you see the psychological play there from Cuckoo, John. He almost invited him to take the creep wave, saying, hey, nobody else is here. It's just me and you, Fearless. And as soon as he gets comfortable, Cuckoo goes in for a Jewel and gets a very easy Jewel win.
That's what you want to see from Among Us. They're starting to pile on their LC. Abed's just ridiculous right now. They do have levels on MG.Trust, so they might play with his Ravage.
They have to try. They've got to do something. I mean, they could play the slow game, you know, just D-push, skip waves. But you've got, it's 9-0 right now. Like, it's a very tough time. At the very least, 2k net worth lead, so it's not a crazy lead up for the side of Among Us. But it's still pretty bad.
It really is. And the big issue now for MG.Trust is, look at where these three heroes are stuck. Q, Boombell, and Masaros were stuck down at this bot area, and they smoked under a ward as well. So it's just a support duo, and they already know the side of Among Us. They should be ready for this.
Yeah, March looking to frontline. Zephyr will do it instead. They're trying to break the smoke and see if they can catch someone out. Cuckoo, he'd love to break the smoke. He's a tanky LC. But no one's going to go for it. Instead, mid lane, Masaros, he was left alone. Kraken Shell going to help him a little bit, but not really that much. Abed, how many kills is that? 8 kills on the Leshrac. That's 8 out of 10 right now from Among Us. And Cuckoo, look at him. He's just so confident. Avalanche is out from Zephyr. He's looking for a toss back. Won't be able to catch it. Boombell, meanwhile, holding back with the Flesh Golem, but there's your swap in from March into the Jewel. They've got to try and help Boombell out here. There's your Mystic Flare now, coming out on Cuckoo, but it's just not enough. Abed gets another kill now. 9 kills on the Leshrac, and we're only 11.5 minutes in.
Oh, geez. 9 out of 11, Mike, coming out here for Abed. Just a ridiculous time in that Lesh, and MG.Trust, this really comes down to the laning, as you mentioned, for Zephyr, but I think it also comes down to these support picks. Just what do you expect a Sky and Undying to do? We're at 12 minutes in. The Undying has not had the free run. Now, I like the skill build in Boombell. He did go for 1 Decay Tree Solo Rip. It's just, this is past the point of Undying dominating lanes. We're basically nearing, you know, laning into the mid game. And Undying at this point needs to kind of itemize to stay relevant or hit some big EXP spikes. Level 10 talent, level 15 talent, max tombstone are what we're looking for. But at this position, being this far behind, that's a long way out for Boombell. And Q as well. Like, he's trying to save up for the Atos. It's almost there. Just about 400 gold. That could give them a big spike if he can get his positioning right. So once they have that, once they start to commit this first Ravage, perhaps that's when we see MG.Trust start to find a few kills of their own. They're just losing a bit too much on the map right now.
I'll tell you what, John, I just had a look at the level differences for all the heroes, and basically everyone on Among Us is 2 levels ahead of Motivate.Trust, apart from Jackie. Jackie's the only person that has been able to farm and get those levels up. He's just been taking his time, working towards that Deso now, not opting for the early BKB. He wants the Desolator first. We'll see if that does end up paying off for him. It is a hard game to make the decision, and it looks like he feels like he needs the damage. The BKB would be quite valuable though, up against Abed's Leshrac, but he's going to go for the Desolator first.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a risk in that window where he doesn't have the BKB. So there's still going to be an opportunity here for Among Us to kind of pierce Jackie down. Even then, I think you're
Abed.
keeping up. Okay.
He doesn't have, doesn't go for the stun. Just wants to make sure Fearless isn't farming. He'll come in and push the wave, and he was very low on mana anyway. Probably wouldn't have been able to get the kill. Meanwhile, Zephyr already has his Blink Dagger up. That's a problem. In fact, he's only 400 gold behind the Storm, as a pos for Tiny.
Oh boy. That's not a good spot for that Storm, and you can see Zephyr, he wants to make use of this. He smokes up with Abed. That was right outside of ward range, as that was up ground, so they can start scouting around now. They know a couple of heroes are clearing that bot lane. They could find a nice kill.
They want bigger kills though. Into the triangle, they want to have a look for this PA. Jackie, he's on the right side. They're not going to scout him out, so instead, into the mid lane. They might just have to settle for Boom Bell, and maybe they could go for the tier 2 after. They aren't going to go for it. They're going to hold the triangle. Maybe hope that somebody comes for those bounty runes, but it looks like Motivate are going to ignore the bounties. I bet. He is under vision right now. They know he's there. Fearless might be able to turn around. Abed is going to get Vortex into Mystic Flare. And they do get the kill. A nice pickup, and here comes Zephyr with a big avalanche toss. Killing off one. Fearless is just completely out of mana now. Zephyr looking for that tree toss. He might want one more hit before he does it. He'll throw it out. March is coming in with a wave of terror. He will scout him out, and Zephyr now does have an avalanche, but oh, he will blink and get the toss off and does get a double kill. On the brighter side, they do kill off Abed and get that huge streak, and they also kill off Cuckoo in the mid lane. So good news all around for Motivate.Trust.
Yeah, they're finding some pickoffs now. That was our first Ravage coming out from Master or so on a single target, but at this point, you can't really complain anymore. They found some kills. They kind of get some bounce back in. That's going to be a massive boon towards Jackie, who does kind of work towards that Desolator one part away. And once you have that in the PA, of course, that means to build up into the BKBs next. Now, Among Us does feel like they've kind of taken the backseat here, but they are just waiting for their Terrorblade to be in a really good spot. And with those kills, knowing that Ravage is down, you see IYD just go straight to the Roche. Without the Ravage, it's going to be a lot harder to kind of contest this one.
You know, Jackie always impresses me, John, and I know I've said this many times throughout tournaments that we've cast in Motivate.Trust, but even with the circumstances of this game, Jackie is still ahead of In Your Dream on the PA. With the fact that he's had so much more little space to farm in, and his team's been dying around him, he's still farming better than the opposing POS 1 as top lane. Abed, Split Earth, not going to be there in time. Cuckoo, he'll look for a jewel, but Fearless is going to zip all the way out, and he's going to be fine. They are going to try and set up for that top tier 2 tower with the rest of the meta they have left, plus the Diabolic Edict from Abed. But as I was saying, Jackie, it is impressive how fast this man farms.
It is. He's held out. He's only kind of taken part in 1 assist, so he has really left his team alone. You have to keep in mind, though, that this farm in the PA is sacrificing everyone else. We're still seeing Fearless lag behind Zephyr's Tiny. Like, this Storm is just not finding its game here. Still trying to save up for the Bloodstone, trying to get the Soul Booster first into the Kaya, and that's still a long way off. So it's been slow going, but there is potential. Like, we have seen Storms bounce back, kind of get their game going once they have a couple of key items, but you've got this Blink Up now in Cuckoo. So that initiation problem we were seeing from Among Us and locking down, say, the Storm, not going to be as big of an issue I think the next thing we have to see here from Among Us is the MKB of IYD. Once you have that on your Terrorblade, you don't care about this BKB on PA. Like, she might be able to jump around, maybe she pierces the back line, but your Terrorblade is going to have a better time twacking away at the PA once you have that MKB up. So in that sense, Among Us, despite Jackie being ahead, he's not going to be able to overcome all of those spikes that you'd expect to come out here from Among Us. It's just not feasible for this player to handle it all.
Fearless, but gets there just in time for the Yules, but the stun again is not going to be well timed. Abed just a split second off there, and Fearless is going to be able to make a run for it. There could be a cutoff. Avalanche is out. Fearless, he's playing with fire. He'll go for the zip TB in your dream. Can he make it in time? No. He will not be able to. Abed, gotta be careful with that timing on the Yule Split Earth. Has been off.
Yeah, it's not quite it. If they found that kill again, you'd be delaying the storm even further. But right now, Fearless must be happy just wasting some time. That shows the location of 3 heroes. You get some more space out for Jackie. And Among Us has kind of stalled out in objective since Hirosh. They took the top tier 2. They need a little bit more. I think they need to start looking at mid and then start eyeing this tier 1 bot. Because that's really all the space MG.Trust has. They've ignored this bot lane for a bit too long. And Jackie did rush to BKB first. So he skipped the Deso, BKB Battle Fury up for our PA, and Jackie could opt to maybe go for a couple of pickoffs now.
I think that's a very smart decision there from Jackie. He could definitely try and fight back, but it looks like he is going to just wait out the Deso and maybe use the BKB as an escape mechanism if he is caught. Speaking of getting caught, Q is going to go down. Cuckoo, he does get his second duel victory of the game. It looks like Zephyr, he was thinking about jumping onto Masaros, but well, he's still going to try. Blinking forward, Masaros going to turn around for the Gush. Toss is not going to be out from Zephyr. But they are going to go towards that bot tier 1 now. In your dream and Arbet. Going to get started. It shouldn't take them very long to take it out. I do wonder to myself now whether Among Us are starting to worry about how well Jackie is farming. So I'm sure they've seen his the itemization he's gone for and the development with his items. Now 2k ahead of In Your Dream. Jackie is still farming like a madman.
That he is, and it's really starting to become his game. You know, this investment in PA has to pay off. The entire team's lagging behind by 5k. They are losing their last outer towers now. So Among Us is finally going for the objectives here, slowly chipping away at that last, one of the last 2 tier 2s. And you can't really allow this to go for free. They do have Ravage.
Yeah, they're going to go for a fight. Masaros, he'll jump in with the Gush first. Onto Arbet, and now Jackie jumps straight in afterwards. They really want that left rack dead. Arbet, he does go down with the Aegis. He's going to need some help. Among Us, how do you initiate here? The Ravage is going to be out. Perfect from Masaros. They'll also get March on the Venge. March does go down into the Gush on In Your Dream. He's going to try and make a run. Looks like he should be just fine, but that is a great team fight out from Motivate.Trust. That's exactly how you had to play it. They played it perfectly.
And this is down to the fact that Abba doesn't really have like a great defensive item. He has the Yules, but that's more for his offensive setup. He'll need a BKB if he wants to stand in front like that. You can't underestimate the control here. Like once you get one Yules usage off, Q can just kind of stand there, use his spells as the sky. We are seeing the Ags build up here for Q as well. So once you have that on top of your Rod of Atos, all the multiple spells coming out, the Mystic Flares coming out, it's going to be a ton of damage up against Among Us if Among Us don't really itemize against that. We were expecting BKBs here, but even IYD doesn't really have a BKB, so could be a bit risky. They haven't even finished that Glimmer Cape as well.
Jackie feeling very confident now after that last fight. Masaros trying to go for a regen, but he is going to get stunned up for this. But Arbet, he has to be careful. Jackie, he's crazy. He'll jump in like that. Cuckoo, meanwhile, not going for the duel, just trying to run back out with the BKB usage, but Arbet still being chased. No crits coming out for Jackie yet. Masaros, he'll keep up the vision. Now the toss away on Arbet, but here comes the duel now, holding down. Well, Cuckoo, he just got critted to death. The duel did not work out in his favor. They do kill off Masaros at the least. Now Arbet, they'll kill off Boombell and go after Jackie. He will blink away. Yules is available, a nice toss in. Jackie gonna blink strike away with the dagger, actually critting Arbed, has to be careful. Split Earth is not gonna land once again. He does miss. But they will settle for the kill onto Q. And Cuckoo, he was playing with fire with that Jewel John. Jackie, he must have hit Arbed about 6-7 times without landing a crit. Cuckoo jewels him, and he gets crit twice in a row.
You gotta watch that usage here from our LC. Cuckoo just a bit too keen, but they needed some lockdown there. I can appreciate that, but you have given free damage to this PA, 20 damage. Jackie's gonna be very pleased with himself now, having that additional damage out. I'll go.
Oh, Arbed, this is too dangerous. He's gone in by himself. Arbed! Oh, yeah, way too confident from Arbed. Motivate.Trust, I mean, the way Jackie's been positioning himself, always around his teammates, knowing who's going to be the next victim. He's just cleaning up these kills, and now Jackie will go in onto March, gets another one for himself. Cuckoo will go for the Blade Mail duel attempt. If there's no crits coming out for Cuckoo, but they'll get the Avalanche toss off. Jackie's going to BKB. Now the Ravage out. Masseros does set up another kill. Oh, Cuckoo, he just can't get lucky. Onto In Your Dream. He does have the Sunder. He does not get it if in time. The crit is there again. This might be one of the luckiest PA performances I've ever seen with these crits, John. They are getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it's every single time Jackie wants it or doesn't want it, it's exactly what he gets. And Among Us, they're staggering in one by one. Abed needs to reel in his aggression here. His spike as the Leshrac is starting to taper off. Your farm in IYD, while nice, again, you've mentioned it, he's always been kind of behind Jackie. And even with an MKB, he needs that BKB. Because of his really awkward build-up from Cuckoo. Like, he was queuing up the Glimmer Cape first, and then he doesn't finish it. But he doesn't have the Blade Mail until now. And when he does have it, they still need a Glimmer Cape here to save one of themselves. They need some BKBs flying out. And now Among Us might be really regretting that early aggression. MG.Trust in a very good spot. They reel in the net worth lead back. They're looking great in their Storm. They've already got the Bloodstone up in Fearless. He gets a +1 charge already. He's rushing the Ags, and I love seeing that. Fearless knows they need a little bit more control once you have this Ags with the Ravage coming through and with the cleave damage that Jackie's pushing out.
Uh-oh.
Among Us might just melt.
He's got an Implore plus the DD. Uh-oh. If he crits on top of that first initial crit from the Implore plus the DD, that's that might be a one-shot if he gets that lucky. Let's see what happens. I believe they're going to try for a smoke soon.
Yeah, it's the Roshan right now for Among Us. They know that Ravage is down for a bit longer. Scando does find him.
They're going to have time. Masseros doesn't have the Ravage for 25 seconds. They're fighting without it. Masseros jumps in as if he does, scaring them back. There's a swap out from March, preemptively, just making sure In Your Dream doesn't die. But Jackie, he has killed one off already. Now the zip in from Fearless. It's not going to mean too much. Just on an illusion. And Zephyr, nice Avalanche toss out, but Jackie pops the BKB, gets the Aegis, now jumps back in. He gets a Tiny, he gets Cuckoo as well, ripping them to shreds, trying to mad fight In Your Dream. He does die, but they got the Vortex off. The TB's gone. Abed has to fight by himself, but he cannot. Jackie on a triple kill on this PA. There's still the chase for more. Masseros looking for this Tiny. Is not going to be able to find him, and Zephyr might try to turn back onto Masseros, but it will be just suicide if he does. Jackie now, John, I mean, he's just looking so good. 7k ahead of In Your Dream. 7k net worth, in fact, for the side of Motivate.Trust in terms of an advantage. And he has just about enough very, very soon for a Satanic.
Yeah, Among Us have really just kind of left Jackie alone for too long. They knew he was in the bot lane. They didn't have wards there. They never made a rotation down until it was too late. And Among Us, with that first Aegis a while ago, they didn't really do as much. Like, they took a top tier 2. They didn't take the mid tier 2. They didn't finish a bot tier 2. They didn't take enough of the map with that early start. And now, because they were so aggressive, one by one, They've lost their lead. They need to take some time here to build up themselves, to counteract this PA. They need some BKBs because the control is getting a bit ridiculous. The fact that they're just being locked down by the sky and by this tide constantly is a massive issue. So we have to be seeing Cuckoo be really cautious with his duels as well. He's giving out 40 damage towards chat. 40 damage towards PA. That is not great for our LC, and Cuckoo's going to have to temper back that aggression. I think if you're going to jump someone, you might want to jump the Storm. Really curious as no one has built up a Halberd here as well, which an LC could naturally build, but Cuckoo's kind of taking the backseat in farm. You would want the Halberd here just to ensure the PA won't get a few hits off early on. And, well, the Satanic you talked about, it's already up in Jackie. He's going to have insane regen. He's got all the options. He's got a Basher up. He's going for the Abyssal next more than likely. And it's a scary time now for Among Us. They kind of play their cards completely wrong. And they get caught with their pants down, and MG.Trust just swing right their way. They can easily eye the high ground. Like, the Ags here for Fearless is just about 800 gold off. And once you have that Ags on top of the Sky Ags, which is also not too far off, then all the control, all the damage suddenly gets fixed up here for MG.Trust.
Yeah, that plus 40 damage he got from the jewels, by the way, John, when you count the crit, it's an extra 200 damage. So it's quite valuable in March. Oh, he's just going to get ripped, Jackie. Avalanche toss is there, but it's not enough damage onto the PA. They do drop the Tombstone preemptively just in case. But Jackie, he is very healthy with that Satanic available. Jumping back in, does take out the Vengelution. They can't fight him. He has such a lead. They're not even trying. But he's going to go skip the mid-creep wave, and in your dream, sending illusions to try and push out the tier 3 towers. MG.Trust, they're not going to fall for it. In fact, Masteros in with the Ravage. They'll kill off Cuckoo. Onto Zephyr. He's in big trouble. He will go down to Q with the Mystic Flare, but a nice double split Earth. It just isn't going to matter, however. The Avalanche toss is there. Masteros at least does die. And Arbed now looking for a cleanup, but Jackie could turn. He will with the Ancient Seal out. Oh, the 1.7k crit from Jackie. March will swap him in. I'm not sure about that though, Jackie. He will blink strike out. Now Zephyr looking for an Avalanche, will miss it out. Another swap in. Jackie does fall low in your dream. Does kill him off with a triple kill now onto Fearless, but he will be able to zip away. It's messy, and it takes quite a bit, but Among Us, they do successfully get 3 kills, and they do defend their high ground. It is going to be a fair bit of golden XP going their way on the side of Among Us, especially to In Your Dream, who did desperately need it.
Yeah, it's a pretty big set of kills. Managed to hold out. Now they were kind of struggling again to find that angle. It was MG.Trust this time that was a bit too keen to jump though. Ravage was only really onto 2 heroes. Not quite the best use of that spell. They didn't manage to catch IYD early on with it. He was really conservative this time with his positioning, and that does allow him to kind of accelerate into his own build-up. Looks like the BKB is done on our TB, so that's going to allow him to really stand and fight, get the Sunders off that they have been having issues with. But you do have the finished Ags here now up on Fearless, and you also have the Ags on Q. So they didn't have that last time. Now they do. You have to be very quick with your BKB here if you're IYD. If you hesitate for one moment, the control is just going to catch you off guard there.
Pink net worth lead continues. Dota Plus has sharply dipped the way of Motivate.Trust, but it's starting to level out a little bit. 83% for Motivate.Trust this game. Seems like this next kind of engagement is probably going to revolve around the next Roshan timing. It'll be very important for either side to try and secure that Roshan, and it's going to be important as it is the third one of the game. Don't want to give up that Ags or Refresher shard as Zephyr bot lane. He's going to try TB, and he's going to make it out. Rod of Atos was not going to be there in time from Q. Still, Jackie, the Abyssal, going to be a real problem for Among Us, as you just aren't going to care about the BKB on In Your Dream. In Your Dream, I mean, he's catching up slowly but surely, but they need it quick. It's
yeah.
Not going to be good news if he does not keep up with Jackie.
It's going to be really difficult. The Terrorblade is basically all their damage. You've seen Abed kind of fall off a cliff now, just the nature of the Leshrac at this point in the game. A Cuckoo does not have enough dual wins to really stand and be a right-clicker as well. So this is now the IYD show. He's got to get his position right. If he can, then, well, they still hold on to this Venge TB combo. They've got the Telescope in March as well, which is very fortunate to get that added range onto IYD. And they can kind of maximize that as long as they play with a meta and as long as they prevent that Abyssal from landing on IYD, which is harder to do than it sounds on paper.
Wow, bad. He's going to get caught out here. Masaros, he's going to jump in. Jackie right behind, a 1.9k crit straight off the bat. Here comes Fearless, zipping right on target. That'll be Zephyr Khan. Oh, these crits, they are starting to hurt. Onto the tier 3 tower. They don't have a creep wave. They're going to try and do it the old-fashioned way. They might actually eventually get through it, and yeah, they will. Onto the melee barracks. Does Abed want to buy back for this, or is he just going to let it go down?
I think they'll hold out until backdoor disappears. Looks like they don't have the tiny. There's no buyback in Zephyr. He did die back. So you're still gonna be playing at the numbers disadvantage, and it looks like IYD's not interested at all. He knows he can't fight right now.
He's very behind. That'll be the melee bot racks going down into the mid racks. Jackie just feeling confident, will keep going for it. This time around, he does have a creep wave down at that bot lane, so no backdoor protection. I have Skadi though, bored out. Jackie. Gonna get lucky with a crit there onto Cuckoo. Wouldn't have killed him anyway. They are gonna back off. Little do they know, In Your Dream did just buy an Eye of Skadi and has no buyback gold if he does die. So this could be a very risky time for Among Us. Try Boombell preemptively opening up with the Flesh Golem. He knows there's smoke somewhere around here. Roshan's going to be up in 1 minute from now. You're going to try and wait that one out. And I mean, we talked about this earlier, but Among Us can't really afford to let it go.
No. They need to find that Roche now. They can't allow these...
Jewel, mid lane, they go Masaros, and they have plenty of damage there with the TB. So Masaros, he does die to Arbit. In Your Dream, he used the meta for this, he wants to go for more. The Manta off the root, but Fearless is in with a big Vortex off, and Cuckoo, he's already died. In Your Dream, he's going to try and mad fight this. Jackie, hoping for a crit, is not getting that lucky, still trying, but they have the control. There's your Sunder out. In Your Dream, he will get the kill. Jackie's down. Hugh now will be chased up as Zephyr. He's going to get the avalanche off, the swap in from March, and yeah, In Your Dream is whacking from a mile away. 4 heroes down. Among Us, they're on their way to a comeback. Into the mid lane they go.
Yeah, it's all down to the Skadi. IYD with his Skadi's preventing Jackie from sustaining himself. His VKB, since it's so old now, is down to a 5-second charge. And it's actually working out. They hold through the power spike of that long duration magic immunity, and now they're starting to melt their own towers.
That they are. It's going to be a very, very quick racks in the mid lane. Jackie is going to be forced to buy back here if he doesn't want to lose too much more. No, it looks like they have had enough. Among Us don't want to risk getting wiped, as they understand In Your Dream is still short on buyback gold, and a Roshan is up. They're back into the Roshan pit.
It's a bit of a risky fight. They walked right in with a ward on top. There is still a Ravage here from Masaros, and they're going to go for it.
They wanted the buyback from Jackie. They aren't giving up yet. They don't believe Jackie's going to make it in time, and the truth is he probably isn't. The Roshan's going down way too quick. Masaros needs to jump in. Fearless, he's in there, but the Aegis has already been taken. The cheese in the deck. The Ravage is out from Masaros, but they don't have the damage without Jackie. He comes in now. They could go for the fight. They're going to try Jackie. He'll jump in. Tombstone dropped. It's not going to be enough, however. Jackie jumping back in after Zephyr, the swap out from March, trying to help Zephyr. He'll survive with the Ghost Scepter. With the TP out, he is going to be fine. But in your dream, he's being body blocked. He does have the Aegis.
Oh,
He
boy.
needs some help. At least he does have buyback gold if he does die again, but it looks like he is going to be okay as MG.Trust. They can't risk fighting. Fearless, did he get anything? I don't believe he did.
He took the refresh shard, but I think he already popped it for a Vortex follow-up. They don't have double Ravage here, which would have been really nice. And they were a bit hasty there. A bit too late in the jump in. Masaro's had his blink for a while, did not opt to play Brave. And it kind of cost them. They were just a fraction too late. They are going to find some tier 4 items ahead, though, and at least clear out their stacks of that. But you are still in a pretty good spot here as Among Us. They do smoke up.
Big smoke. They understand if they win this team fight, the game's over. I don't believe they have enough buybacks to defend high ground if Jackie dies. Ross does not want to get caught out first. He does have the Ravage, but the Jewel is there from Cuckoo just in the nick of time. He will make sure they can't fight back. Boombell also going down. Q, he's been caught. He's trying to TP out, but no Arbed. He will have the Yule Scepter in time, and they will kill him off as well. This is going to be a very rough position for Motivator's top lane. Cuckoo trying to fight Jackie, but the BKB TP out is going to be there and is going to be fine. Cuckoo does not have the Jewel off cooldown.
It's a missed opportunity, but you're still in a really good spot now as Among Us. Lead down to 3k here. And they should probably take some of these tier 4 items they haven't farmed up. Spell Prism is going to be really nice here for Abed or whoever else wants it. And the beauty of this is they can D-push nicely with a Storm, but whether or not Fearless can do that enough times to stop one full set of racks is a different question.
You know what time it is for Jackie, John. He needs a Divine Rapier. He's
Oh
far
boy.
more one up. And he might not have time for it. In your dream, just so tanky on this TB. Even the crits just don't seem to do enough. They just look like normal attacks now on In Your Dream. Thanks to that high base armor he does have. They are going to keep him healthy with the press the attack, and he will be just fine to back off. They are going to go back and, of course, defend their bot base or bot lane. It's the base was being taken out, and Arbed is going to be there with the boost travel. Like I said, it's divine time. I love divine time, John.
Oh, it's always fun. Hopefully, Jackie will play up front. You know, we've seen a couple of Divine plays where the players have been a lot more hesitant. In this case, the PA can't be defensive. You have to be confident with a Divine pickup. You have to just jump in, try to get that control. You also have this ridiculous Princess Knife on the PA. So you've got the Hex on the Blink Strike, which is always pretty darn broken for a hero like this. In fact, I believe Dagger actually procs it, doesn't it?
It does?
On a hero. So lovely time for Jackie. Instant initiation if they do want to. And I mean, at this point, without buyback, you might as well. Right? It's an all-in play for Among Us if they can farm it up.
Wow, look at
for
this, John.
MG.Trust, actually. Yeah.
Win probability 50-50.
Wow.
As
actually,
Jackie
dead
intended.
even.
As Jackie intended. 50-50. Tell me this isn't the new EE summer. It's gotta be.
Oh, he is. Oh, he is. Jackie. Bringing us back to Jack E. All the way back. Man, I missed those days.
Good old days.
You know, you know that pilot I was dead inside. Every single time it was kind of going off. Remember that one time he was a Bane and he had farm, he didn't know what the heck to do, so he went Shadowblade? Literally,
I remember.
Arcane Boots Shadowblade.
God, I love Twilight Die.
Oh, still,
Good old
that
days.
lead mic down to 1k. Down to 1k here, and they're working their way. Tier 2, MG.Trust in a position to defend. They have the Ravage, they've got the AoE Vortex. Try to fight.
Oh, Fearless is going to try and go in. But he's going to be fine. In fact, he's going to try and turn with the Split Earth, and it does land. Got to be a bit wary of the Titan Ton. Tombstone is going to be dropped pretty early on. Still, they're going to jump in now. It looks like a swap is there from March. Masaros, Ravage is not going to be great. They do at least kill off March in your dream. He's going to fight from the low ground. He could be in trouble. Jackie has jumped in. Vortex is there from Fearless, just holding them all down. Jackie, he wipes out in your dream onto Arbed. There goes Cuckoo. The Leshrek's the only one left. He's going to die as well. Uh-oh. Among Us, what have you done? In your
No
dream doesn't have
buybacks.
buyback again. And Jackie has a Divine Rapier, which explains why he was doing so much damage.
Oh, yes. I don't know how Among Us holds out here. They're going to bum rush the tier 4s, it looks like. Or Jackie's going to divert towards mid. I think they should understand buybacks are not available. And that was just so aggressive of March. He swaps in Masaros, which means that your TB is forced to BKB first to dodge the Ravage.
Oh,
but
Jackie.
it was right by the ramp.
Down Zephyr. Ghost Scepter going to help him out. Q will just drop the Mystic Flare. And Jackie, can we get a crit? Nah. We'll just take it. Fearless. See, I'm going to grab that on the Storm. Love the fact that Fearless also has that Timeless Relic with the AoE Vortex. Goodness me.
Gotta love it. It's
You
all
do.
balanced here for MG.Trust. 2 buybacks, but they should know, MG.Trust, they're still missing 3 heroes here.
Arbit's going to try and hold out. 20 seconds left for his respawn, and In Your Dream will be respawning at the same... No, he's not. He's going to buy time for In Your Dream. That buyback will be enough for Jackie to back off as... Cuckoo gets turned into a frog.
That's gotta be so balanced, right?
It is balanced,
Frickin'
John.
dagger.
I don't know
with
what you're
Princess
talking about.
knife. That's fair. I mean, it is a knife, right? So I guess PA's throwing knives.
Correct.
Would make sense that Princess Knife would proc, and they've stalled out, so they have successfully defend. It did cost them a buyback in their Lesh, but IYD's back. Among Us, I mean, they've got a way to fight this, but they have to be so smart about it. They've got to be a little bit more patient. They do not want to give another opportunity like that towards the side of MG.Trust. They need to find a way to deal with that PA.
You know what they need, John?
absolutely do.
They need a
Their own
Divine
Divine?
Rapier on In Your Dream. You can only match a Divine with a Divine. You can't fight a sword fight without a sword, John. And
That's fair.
Monkey King Bar, it's quite nice, but that's a staff. That's why In Your Dream's losing. Wood does not do well up against the sword.
That is very true. IYD's gonna have to show us what he's got soon, as they're just trying to hold out now, trying to farm up.
Quick
again,
Roshan.
Oh, yeah, that is.
5-second Roshan timer. Very
That's gonna be
nice.
so good for the side of Among Us. That's gonna be the 4th Roche, so it's got everything down there. Aegis Cheese, refresh Ags. Gonna be nice for whatever team picks it up, but Among Us are too scared. They don't have vision about where MG.Trust is at, and they aren't really able to use this downtime, which means MG.Trust should have enough time to actually walk down themselves.
Oh, John, look at this. Jackie's really gambling now. He's got the flicker as well. Oh, Jackie. I love when someone goes all in on the risk, on the risky plays. He's feeling lucky today, Jackie. Just judging by the way these crits have been happening, he should feel lucky. Now even Fearless has a DD rune bottled up. MG.Trust, they're the ones that aren't aware that the Roshan's up yet. They must assume it's going to be a later time. But now they might walk themselves in. Buybacks are up for a lot of people here. Ward is going to be already de-warded. Roshan, Jackie, seeing how fast he could take this, but he does get bashed by the Roche. Gotta be careful.
You're not going to be pleased by this, Mike, but IYD is queuing up a Daedalus instead.
No.
No Divine.
No.
Divine. He's not brave. He's not brave. He wants to be fair, he doesn't have an inbuilt crit. So the Divine, I don't think would have been as nice as it is on Jackie. I think he will need Daedalus anyway. So perhaps after, if the game goes long enough, Daedalus into Divine. That sounds pretty logical to me.
Roshan, not going to like what he's coming back home to. Jackie will get started. Tombstone is going to be dropped. They're going to commit to this. That's a lot of damage. 3.5k crit from Jackie. Now, zip in. Vortex, he's got 3 of them. In fact, in your dream, the Ravage, they need help. They're not going to get it though. Fearless, he had the control with Masaros out. Now Jackie, straight onto In Your Dream, just bashing him up constantly. He will survive for a second there with the Ghost Scepter. It's not going to be enough. Back into the Roshan, Jackie goes. He is all about business in Arbed. He calls the GG. What a Vortex play and Ravage out from Masaros. And all props to Jackie John. The man, he farms like a god. I don't know how he does it so quick, but he gets it done.
Yeah, he used the space that his team created so well. And it's for me, it's not Jackie. It's the fact that MG.Trust had faith in Jackie, right? Like, they sacrificed their Storm, they sacrificed their Tide's early farm just to get this PA off to a running start. It pays off in a massive way. And Among Us, they had this amazing early lead. They went 10-0 for a while, and their issues was they got complacent. You know, they got the first Roche, they took the top tier 2, and then they just kind of farmed around. They didn't hunt the PA, they didn't shut the map down. It gave MG.Trust a space to bounce back in. And Among Us, we've seen them kind of do that before, where they get a little bit of that hubris kind of builds up. So we'll see if they can kind of shake it off, stick back to the game plan, start to get focused in the second game.
Well, with that, we are going to be 10 minutes away from game number 2. And it is, of course, MLP, Dota, and johnxfire. We'll be cat jamming in the chat with you all, and we'll see you again once the next draft is up.